You're listening to the Rogers Sporting Goods Podcast with Patrick Fisher,
Chandler Smith,
and Josh from Outdoor Limits.
In this podcast, we'll touch on everything from gear to ducks to deer, turkey and fishing. From field to table, let's dive in.
And I feel like, is NWTF a week earlier this year?
No, it's around the same time.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But when we went last time, we were talking about the, being in Super Bowl week is because the parade I went to, but that's because the season got changed.
The season was earlier.
So now
the
season being extended with 17 games now puts it during the NWTF show, which this year is supposed to be pretty big because it's their 50th anniversary. So
you're saying NWTF is the weekend of March 3rd?
Oh, no, next week, February 15th through the 19th.
Yeah.
Basically, the show runs 3 days, the 16th, 17th, 18th, and then the front and back day are for setup and takedown type days.
And this year it's...
Yeah, we're leaving Wednesday.
We leave next Wednesday.
So it's next weekend is NWTF convention.
Yeah. The big day is the Saturday, which would be the 18th.
And where are they having it now?
Nashville. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
My weekend's open.
The boys went out there years ago. I remember you and Aaron attended.
Me and Aaron went out
just to see what it was all about.
Yeah, we did like a media day. We went around
like a media. Yeah,
we filmed all the new products and stuff for Federal and Avian X.
Right.
Yeah,
and then we kind of decided, man, this might be something we would like to attend. As a company. So this will be our second year now.
When I first moved to Nebraska, the NWTF approached me, and they had some people in the industry that they brought every year to Nebraska, and they got me to guide them for 3-4 years. So I took people out northern Nebraska.
Yeah,
a lot of turkeys. Yeah, people were pretty shocked.
Oh yeah,
I had a customer actually tell me, speaking of Nebraska being from there, is the bag limit different this spring you've heard of?
I don't know if they've changed it, but I think, the talk around the nation is the turkey population's right. I know the areas that I hunted in northern Kansas and southern Nebraska, the populations are, really down. I don't know exactly what's causing it. I know there's been a lot of testing and stuff. I know they talked about changing bag limits, but to be honest with you, I haven't seen it this spring to know.
Gotcha. And it might have been for out-of-state hunters. Maybe his changed or something.
Because you had
like
historically been able to come in, I think, by three tags.
Yeah,
three. So they might have. I know they were talking about narrowing it down to 2.
Maybe narrowing it down and help it out a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I did a lot of watching last year and not a lot of shooting. I decided I was going to be a
spectator,
steward and not try to hurt the situation. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I did a lot of watching nothing last spring.
I couldn't believe.
We went out. I mean, I've got plenty of birds around. They weren't cooperating, I'll tell you that.
I couldn't believe my main rancher that I hunt on in Kansas. He told me that he would normally have 300 to 350 birds winter on his place. And last year he counted 73.
Wow.
So something's going on.
And it wasn't due to the fact, like, a bunch of them didn't move to, like, a neighboring. I would
No, they've been coming there for years and years and years. That population's dropped that much in that northern Kansas area.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big fall from one year to the next. You expect to go out there and see all those, and then you're like, well, we've got an issue.
He definitely told me he saw, over the last 3 years, it was a gradual decline.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely been a discussion for sure. So for everybody tuning in, we brought in a guest today from Mr. Heater. Gentleman's name's Barry, and so appreciate you coming in and
I appreciate you guys asking me.
Meeting with us today and setting this up so we can kind of discuss all the products Rogers Sporting Goods has carried and the line you guys have, and a little bit about the company and kind of the back history and the direction. And all sorts of stuff. So, so thanks for coming. So where do you reside now?
So now I've lived in Kearney, Nebraska
Kearney, Nebraska.
Yep, for a little over 20 years. I was born and raised Mississippi. Went to Mississippi State grad, and then I was actually in the golf course business, and I worked at Old Waverly Golf Course, so that was really close to Mossy Oak, and a lot of the Mossy Oak executives were members there, and got to know a lot of those guys, a lot of the old school guys from Mossy Oak, and when I told them I was moving to Nebraska because of my wife's job, they approached me and offered me a job, and kind of went from there. So kind of went to work for them on their sales side, and calling on different retailers there, and then got offered a job with a fairly large sales and marketing group, and basically dealt with Bass Pro Cabela's for the last 18 years.
Gotcha.
And then, but during that whole time, I sold Mr. Heater, and they approached me about a job about a year and a half ago. So I've been their national sales manager on the retail side for a little over a year now.
Okay.
But known Stevie and them, and Stevie at Rogers for a long time, and so yeah, it's good to start calling on some of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've carried Mr. Heater for longer than I've been here.
Yeah. Yep.
I've always remembered it in the 10 years I've
Yeah.
been there. I mean, it's
the little red buddy heater. Everybody knows
everybody
you're getting a
knows
blind
it.
and it's
Yeah,
sitting in the
right.
corner,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like now you're almost to a point where any blind you go in, if it's cold,
Mm-hmm.
you see some form of one of their products out there.
Well, here's the crazy part. We're sitting here today, and it snowed 4 inches.
I mean, just out of the blue.
Last night.
Nowhere.
I didn't even know how this morning was going to go. Just, it was raining. Didn't think anything of it. I was even talking to Dad last night. Yeah, we're supposed to get a little bit. He goes, nah, it won't be anything. And like, I wake up and the wife's like, man, better leave a little bit early. It's kind of like all of a sudden,
Yeah.
I
didn't even know it was supposed to snow.
No.
I knew it was raining last night. And
Yeah.
But
because you said Hayden texted you, was like, hey, what's the plans? Everybody coming in.
yeah.
And not that it wasn't terrible, but when it's unexpected,
Yeah.
you're not ready for it.
I had no
You're
idea.
just
I looked at it, and I know I'm driving back to Nebraska today, and I looked at it last night, and I said, oh, it's rain. And I looked at it, and it didn't look like it was going to get to a freezing temperature. And I was like, I'll get up and, come meet with Stevie, and then I'm going to head out.
Well, before you leave, do you take 29 North?
I do.
Because it's shut down right now.
Oh, great.
So
Really?
Let's make this podcast like 5 hours then.
just so you know, one of our Brett, because he comes in from St. Joe, so 29 northbound was shut down up by the airport just north of here.
Really?
Yeah, and they just had to get it. They had to MoDOT and semis and cars, and it was kind of a congestion, people off the road. So
might have to cut west. Might have to go across Kansas and then up.
they might
detour.
Yeah, you might grab a snack or something before you hit the road. But I tell you what was interesting. Me and Chandler were looking around at some of the back history. That was kind of neat to learn, like just the evolution of Mr. Heater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know if I pronounce it right. Is it Enerco?
Some people say Enerco. I say Enerco. I think there's different ways.
See, that
to
makes more
it.
sense because what did
Like
we
energy
find?
and
Company?
conservation.
Energy and conservation.
So Enerco would probably make more sense, but that's kind of the parent. That's the main.
Correct. That's the umbrella company or whatever over all of our different brands. We, if you look at DeWalt heaters and Mr. Heater, you see a stuff called Flex Tech. So if you have an RV, there's a really good chance that we made the valves or hoses in those RVs. So
I got you.
Mr. Heater Enerco's a larger than just you see the little red buddy there. We're a lot bigger corporation than that. That's a lot of what I do on the outdoor side of things with the little buddies. But when you were talking about the snow outside, and here we are, almost turkey season, it made me think about the first turkey I killed in Nebraska with my bow was in about 4 inches of snow with a buddy heater in my blind.
Okay.
Before I was selling them.
Yeah.
Are you
strutting in the snow? It was the coolest thing.
A blind guy?
I am, because mainly I'm an archery hunter. So historically that's just been what I do, on the turkey side of things.
It makes sense, especially in the archery side of it.
Yep. And I have 3 sons, so being able to keep a kid still to shoot a turkey with a bow is is pretty hard. So keeping them comfortable inside the blind with the heater and giving them something to do while you're waiting is a big deal.
Yeah. Kind of the history of this. I mean, we're going back to the late 1800s with the Van Dorn Iron Works. And I'm thinking, okay, Mr. Heater. I figured, history, and I click on it, and I'm like, thinking I'm gonna find something in the 1950s or 1872. The Van Dorn Iron Works was founded, so it's a company based out of Cleveland. But that's like the beginning of where this story, generates.
Correct.
And then we just kind of move on from there, and it just
and then over the time, the Hare family bought the company there, Interco, and then he has grown it from there. I think that was in the 60s. I don't know that for sure, but I thought it was pretty cool. I got to go back to my first company Christmas party a few months ago, and Al Hare stood up and talked about his first Christmas party was in his warehouse with 30 something people, and almost gave the impression of this is expensive and how should we be doing this type thing. And then he's standing up on a stage at this past Christmas party with 500 people.
Yeah.
Right.
We have like 500 employees now, and across the country we manufacture in China, Vietnam, Italy, all over the world. We get components and a lot of stuff in the USA. So as we move through some of the products here, I think it's a pretty good thing to know that when you look at our tank top business, which obviously Rogers does a ton of waterfowl. Everybody, that waterfowl hunts has seen some people call them sunflowers, tank tops, whatever, mushroom heater. I've heard it 50 different names, it seems like, but basically your tank tops that hook on top of your 20-pound propane bottle. A majority of those are made in Cleveland in our factory. So I think that's pretty cool.
And is the main headquarters
in Cleveland?
In Cleveland still.
Yeah, we have some other, warehouses all over, and our hoses and fittings are some are made for the RV market down in Texas. Some of them are made in Cleveland, but mainly our if you've had a Mr. Heater tank top heater in your blind, it's a really good chance it was made right there in Cleveland, Ohio.
You probably got some of them. You're the waterfowl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've used
cold
those
days,
but the buddy heater is the way to go.
Yeah. That's like the staple for us.
Did you know that the buddy heater probably not like supposed to be advertised to do this?
Oh yeah.
Take that front grate off. You flip it around, you got yourself a grill.
The old grill, the old grill trick.
I don't even know,
especially in the duck blinds in the morning.
Dude,
oh yeah.
I don't even know how many Pop-Tarts I've heated up on a buddy heater.
Everybody gets hungry in the morning. You're out there.
Yeah, don't let our product development people hear this. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen people like put bacon over the grate.
Oh yeah,
I've seen it all, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Which. So there is a product which we can bring up that will help you in your cooking needs in the blind that I noticed. But so Al Hare owns the company now. Still
It's
based out
family-owned.
of Cleveland. It's kind of generated there, and it just kind of that's the staple. Everybody stayed there and just grew it.
I thought it was neat that Mr. Heat IR was, I think, an early name for it, and then they changed it because of how probably people said the name Mr. Heater instead of Heat IR for infrared.
Right.
And then they went to Mr. Heater.
And
we read that it was kind of like because of other Cleveland brands,
Cleveland
like Mr.
brand
Coffee and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Mr. Coffee, Mr. Gasket.
Yep.
So it's just a Cleveland like thing, you know.
It's funny to me how many people thought when I went to work for them that it was the Buddy Heater. They actually thought the name of the company was Buddy Heater.
Mm.
That's been a surprise to me too, because
of how
everybody knows it by the
popular-
Buddy. Everybody knows it by the Buddy Heater.
Yeah.
The little red Buddy Heater.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I can
it's
see
a
that.
super
I think,
popular.
I remember the packaging. It was like you saw Buddy Heater was nice and big. And just in the corner, I think it was like the Mr. Heater logo somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We worked really hard to keep that, name, the TM on that name, because that's just a big deal for us. The color of the heaters and the name of the heaters just is how people know us.
Yeah.
So, getting into kind of the development of the original heaters and kind of where we are now, like obviously infrared technology was big.
Yeah, I think they started with the infrared stuff in the 50s.
Yeah.
But
There was
when did the first Buddy Heater hit the market? You know?
I want to say, but I want to say the 80s is when the first time we had what we were referred to as a Buddy Heater. And the biggest thing on the Buddy Heater, guys, is, everybody wants to stay warm and comfortable. That's what that's kind of our slogan, right? Unfortunately, some of our favorite activities that we like to do, it's freezing cold, right?
Yeah.
And making us comfortable and be able to enjoy the outdoors and enjoy what we like to do. That's one of our slogans. But in all honesty, it's the safety thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you talk about the Buddy series of goods that we sell, we're actually changing our packaging going into next year, because we are the world's safest indoor heater, propane heater. I mean, you can feel comfortable that, we've had so many years of experience of selling and producing these goods. You want to put it in your RV, feel comfortable, put it in your RV. That's what it's for. Feel comfortable, put it in your tent. Feel comfortable, put it in your shooting blinds and stuff of that nature, because, that's what we pride ourselves on more than anything, is that we allow you to be comfortable. But the most important thing is we allow you to be safe.
Yeah, so what goes into, the safety of those Buddy Heaters?
For years and years, it was the oxygen sensor. So now we have like let's call it a 4-prong safety system. Let's put it that way. And we call it like the life safety system. So basically, the oxygen sensor it's kind of interesting. I didn't really exactly know how it worked up till a couple years ago, but the pilot light in that Buddy. So when the oxygen is low, that pilot light changes. So when the angle of that pilot light changes because of the lack of oxygen, and it comes off of that thermocoupler, that's what tells you the amount of oxygen that's available for that pilot light to burn, which in turn will shut off the unit if it gets to a certain level. So pretty interesting on the way that that works, and that is a patented feature that we have. So one of our largest safety part of the safety system. The other part, and one of the main things that happens unfortunately for any product, right, is user error. And what happens on propane heaters is you have your 1 pound bottle, and people cross thread it. So when they're screwing it into that regulator, that's a regulator, it pops out. When they screw it into that regulator, it leaves a gap where gas can leak out and start a fire. So when a Buddy heater catches on fire, that's normally where it is when someone misthreads it or cross threads it. So now we have a new patented system that when a fire starts there's a thermal, I forgot exactly what they call it, but it's like a thermal gasket, thermal regulator inside of there that melts. So as soon as a fire starts at that regulator, it melts and shoots a plunger into the tank and shuts off the gas. So that is like our most important safety feature that we have, because unfortunately, if you see what happens when, if you did not have that feature, I mean, it could, start a pretty big fire.
Right.
So us having that deal is huge to us. We also have a tip over feature. So, if you tilt that buddy, if you put knock the buddy over on the side, instantly cuts off. Really, if you just bump it hard, it cuts off. So another huge feature to, you sitting in a deer blind or something of that nature.
Yeah, and a waterfowl blind, they get bumped quite often.
They get bumped around pretty hard.
I think that's people's main concern with like tents, because you're going to sleep, but you want to stay warm. And it's like, in the middle of the night and this heater tips over.
Right.
But
it shuts off.
It would shut off. So that'll keep that peace of mind.
Yeah.
If you're tossing and turning in your sleeping bag and bump it, I mean, it's still hot.
Yeah.
But
it's not going to burn anymore.
Your main concern has been extinguished.
It's been extinguished. The plunger thing, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's on all of them now.
Absolutely.
On the Buddy series.
Yep. On the Buddy series, if that thing starts on fire, it cuts off the source of gas.
And it's basically starting the fire where the bottle is screwed into that on the side of the units for. I'm sure a lot of people have used them, but it's starting right there.
That's your main concern. Yeah. Just, if you're putting those bottles on and you feel any kind of resistance, or you don't, you just don't feel like it's right, back it off and start again.
Right. Yeah. Especially all you men that I'm just going to force it in there. Right. Yeah. Just like start over.
The other super cool thing that we do that, that's kind of one of those features that people can't see, right? We advertise it, but, you really don't know about it until something, potentially happens.
Right.
The other thing that we do not cut corners on that we take a lot of pride in is all of our flame retardant materials. So that whole Buddy heater is all made with flame retardant materials. Plastics, paints, everything on there is flame retardant. So we really, over the years have, we don't skip any corners on that side of our buddies.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really, that's a lot of stuff that we're all learning today.
That you don't think about,
you don't think about it. And, but we're glad you all thought about it because it is a product, right? You're selling to a consumer that can cause damage if it's not built correctly.
Right.
We're talking about fire and, propane and.
Well, I definitely, a little off topic, but not off topic. You guys will definitely think it's interesting. So we found there's a new safety feature. The other day we had a customer contact us while he was elk hunting last year. He had the Buddy in his tent, and a anti-hunter came up to his tent and shot his tent with a shotgun. And the shotgun pellets, he had the heater up by his main top part of his torso, and the heater took most of the blow from the shotgun blast. It saved his life.
Gosh.
Did he get hit from other stray pellets?
Mm-hmm.
He did?
But he did not.
The big Buddy heater, whatever heater he was using.
The big Buddy heater took the bulk of the shotgun. Now that's
oh my
someone looking above.
What in the world?
Looking over the top of you. Yep. So he was like it was another story we said that a buddy saved your life.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And we've heard a lot of those over the years of, electricity went out or got stranded or whatever,
right.
And the buddy saved my life, but that was the first one from a shotgun blast.
From a firearm.
Jeez.
What in the world?
Yep.
I had an interesting, I don't know. We were at an area that I was fine, but we were hunting 20 degree or below temperatures, and I was chasing a goose on a boat. We had run an ice heater on this pond, so it wasn't a big lake. We weren't in a remote area. We were close to town, but I was chasing this. I probably told this story on this podcast before, but I was chasing a goose and a little John boat dinghy thing, you know, on the pond to go get it.
Mhm.
We had turned the ice heaters on last night, and it was cold. I mean, freezing water. So I go out and get this goose, and then more geese were coming, and this boat wasn't moving very fast. I think it had like an 18 horsepower trolling motor on it, or 18 pound thrust.
Mhm.
Yeah. Very, very small trolling motor, and it wasn't moving me around. So I shot over to the bank, and I was going to get out and like drag the boat on the bank because it'll be faster to get back to the blind. And well, as I got out of the boat, my waders they're buoyant. So I went under the boat and went all underwater. I remember opening my eyes underwater completely at the bottom, looking at all the vegetation. And so, I mean, I was looking at at the floor. So I got up, stood up, got to about knee level, and like ran the boat back to the blind. And when I got in the blind, stripped everything off besides the merino and stood next to the big buddy heater. And I looked like a smoke machine.
Yep.
It was just
all the steam.
All the steam was coming off, and luckily I had some extra, pieces because it was a very cold morning. But the buddy heater, I took off layers because it was so nice. And then we had a pontoon blind where I was hunting, and this blind was made out of PVC. It was it's kind of like an A-frame, but it had a roof over the back. It was a really cool blind, and hopped in that pontoon blind. The buddy heater was in the corner, stood next to that, and the merino was dry probably within 20 minutes or less.
Yeah.
And I was able to put back some of the extra clothing I had and stuff. So that was an interesting morning.
Right.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I remember standing right next to that and looking. There's so much smoke going. You just kind of pouring out of the blind and everything. So
Well, speaking to the points of, I've never fallen underwater, but like the old days of coffee cans and putting a toilet paper roll in there to keep warm, or all the things we
Did over
tried
the years.
doing.
Yep.
And we have a product that you don't have to worry about that. And there's a couple different. So let's go through like the three staples like that we for sure, like Rogers Sporting Goods. These are our three main, and like you said, I think there are three of the main ones for Mr. Heater. I mean, it's the go-to. But like the Little Buddy, which is basically it's a single propane, like your 1 pound green bottles everybody sees, and that's kind of your base with the platform on the bottom.
yeah, it sits on top of that bottle.
Yeah, correct. And that's
the bottle sits in a stand that
yeah,
supports it, and then you put the heater on top of that.
And it's
And
like a
that's
little one burner thing.
Well, yeah, and that's a radiant heat. That's no fan. There are some models that you have that
have fans,
too,
but
right?
this was just
It's like a
turn it on
radiant.
one speed. It's really, really popular with because of its mobility, right? So guy can throw a couple bottles in his backpack and throw that heater in his backpack with his other stuff. Ground blind. I mean, if I'm like we were saying, turkey hunting. If I was out turkey hunting today, right? I mean, it would be the Little Buddy in my backpack and a couple bottles of fuel, and you could just crank it up inside. But you don't regulate it. It's just one. Turn it on, let it go. But hunting blind, deer. Your deer stands or your shooting houses. I guess I'm trying to say. It's really popular to put one of those in the corner because truly due to space, right? I mean, you're taking up just a limited amount of space there in the corner.
It doesn't take up any room.
Right. And in a shooting house, you don't need that extra heat that a bigger buddy would give you. When it's enclosed like that, that's plenty of heat.
Yeah, with all the whatever, like we sell rednecks at the store, but yeah, and you close up all them windows and you got a little radiant heat in there.
It
doesn't take much to
take off your shoes and relax
to warm up
That's
that
right.
spot. So
Right.
yeah, I have a Little Buddy that I use. The one thing I will say, don't get your gloves too close over. Right.
True.
I'm not paying attention and it's hot,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the product gets hot.
Yep.
And I put my glove too close. I wasn't paying attention and kind of touched it, So
We see that with waders. So
Oh,
yeah,
I bet.
right. Yeah, I'm sure that's a big one.
yeah, by the time you feel the heat, through your waders, it's probably
It's
not
too
a
late.
good thing.
No, it's not a good thing. Yeah. No, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
So that's not covered under warranty.
No.
No. You're saying warranty. That's an interesting thing. I didn't think about with the buddy heater next year going into next season. We've always had a 1-year warranty on our buddies, and this year we're bumping that to a 3-year warranty.
Okay.
So we're definitely way far and beyond anyone else in the industry at that level, but we're going to give a 3-year warranty on our buddies going into fall 2003.
And
23.
So would that cover, like, if something happened, like with the propane bottle and it shoots the thing into the spout? Would that be covered?
I would say call us and we would be very happy that the system worked and that safety feature engaged. And I would say we'd work with you to probably get another heater. It's more on the manufacturing side of things. Guarantee you that it's going to run properly and do that for 3 years, no problem. But I would say on situations like that, to be honest with you, we like the unit back. And we want to, we have an engineering department. We have a whole separate building of product development and engineering. I think people might look at our heaters and go, oh, well, they've been making these for a long time. And we just sit around and they don't try to innovate, them further. But that's so far from the truth. Our engineering department puts so much time and effort into the safety aspect of that. So when we have something or have a situation, of that nature, then we want to look at it. We want to see what happens. We want to see how we can make a better unit for the future.
It's worth a phone call
Absolutely.
to say, hey, this is kind of what happened, and
Absolutely.
and see if you can't get something worked out.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the 3-year, that's nice.
Yep.
And that's a great. But yeah, like manufactured problems. A knob or the door hinge or whatever, something like that.
Just not lighting properly.
It's not lighting. Yeah. Yep.
For sure.
That makes sense. So you got the little buddy, the next step up really, which is like probably it's the one that
popular.
everybody gravitates to, would be the portable buddy.
Portable buddy.
That's kind of the go-to.
That's like that single panel that you see, but it's a
what is that panel? It's like
it's the infrared.
The infrared
panel.
The tile.
Panel.
We call it a tile. So
yeah.
And we a lot of people out there have tried to make something similar to ours. But we definitely have some inside secrets in the engineering side of things that we there's a lot of testing on efficiencies, burn times, how many BTUs you're truly putting out there. I can just tell you that when we advertise something, we know that it will perform at that level. And over the years, we have perfected those tiles that go into our buddy heaters, and feel really good about it.
Yeah.
But the particular one you're referring to, the changes, from a little buddy to a big buddy, is to a portable buddy. The portable buddy on this lowest setting runs about the same. It's a little bit hotter, but about the same as a little buddy.
Okay.
But you have the ability on a portable buddy now, to crank that up to a 9,000 BTU. So you can double the output of the heat, where with the little buddy, turn it on, runs at 4,000 or somewhere around 4,000, 3,800, 4,000. But that portable buddy will go up to 9,000 BTUs.
So that's kind of the big difference between the two.
Correct.
And the portable buddy's like your suitcase size, got the handle, that you carry around, stands on its own. The tank goes in the side.
Well, so that way, on a little buddy, you got to take it out of the stand and do all those things. So a portable buddy that pivots. So that regulator just pivots. You screw it right off, screw it right on.
Yes.
Which makes it, pretty simple and pretty quick.
Right.
The other things that, you're talking about little things that you've used them for years and don't see, even with our handle. So that handle folds back out of the way for, obviously when you're storing it, sometimes it makes it for less space, right? Yeah. But the other thing, you take that handle out of the way of the heat.
Yeah.
So that handle gets out of the way of where a lot of that radiant heat is going up in the air. So another safety side of things. If you look at, we're kind of looking at a picture here. So you even look at the that radiant tile's at an angle. Well, that's for a purpose, right? That's for a purpose to angle it up towards you sitting in a seat or away from something that's lower that might
Makes
catch on
sense.
fire. So, there's even some people out there now that's saying, oh, this tilting feature, well, we're so fast, we don't tilt ours because it's already tilted internally
Right.
in our unit. So pretty interesting stuff that people, you wouldn't recognize just sitting there using it, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
I've got like an old one, an old portable buddy. The handle doesn't move. The where you screw in the bottle, that doesn't
move.
That doesn't move.
So innovative
Really?
stuff over
yeah.
time.
Over
Yeah,
time.
I don't even. I think it got mixed up with somebody else who brought that one, and I had one of the new ones. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so they got mixed up, and I think that one's in Louisiana now. So
Oh.
so
You got the upgrade?
I got the old one.
You got the old one.
Still runs, tried and true.
Still runs, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got a
the
separate
main key.
button for the pilot light and everything.
But I would guarantee you, most of those things are stuff that we do is based off customer comments or someone bringing us an idea or saying, man, we would love to see this or do that. And even, I don't know if you noticed, and I think because Stevie was talking about it for next year. So now, and this is 100% from customer feedback, someone goes, the good example is you get in a deer blind, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, you crank up your little buddy. Well, if you're cranking it wide open or you have a bottle that's halfway full, halfway through your hunt, you're having to reach down, unscrew it, screw another one on, leaking a little gas for scent purposes. But just having to deal with it, right? Just having to go through the extra motions of moving and doing it. We came out with a dual tank hookup kit. So basically it's just a manifold with a hose. You screw it right into your portable buddy, but you're pulling from 2 bottles instead of 1. So your run time obviously actually more than doubles because the way the manifold's pulling from both tanks at the same time, it does it more efficiently. So we actually get a little more run time out of it that way, but you don't have to, it just eliminates you having to lean over and, interrupt your hunt.
Yeah, that's perfect for a guy that's maybe an all-day sitter or you get out there super early and it is super cold where you want to do the 9,000 versus the low-end 4. You're out there and you're sitting until noon to go to lunch. You just crank that up and go at it.
Yeah, so it's really neat.
Yeah, those are the days to stay out there. If it's cold and you're rifle hunting or something in a blind like that, at least in Missouri, you're in the rut.
You're in the rut.
Go all day.
Yeah.
It comes in pretty handy for double hitter baseball games too. My son will be starting baseball here in a few weeks, and trust me, it's not the best weather in the world in Nebraska for baseball.
For Nebraska.
Yeah, I play on 3 softball teams, and one's more of a tournament team, and so that tournament team likes to play in like cold weather. So we have a tournament this weekend, which is not going to be cold, but we do play on some tournaments in late November, late October, and sometimes it can be really cold. And we always have a portable heater that gets brought out and brought into the dugout.
Yeah.
Every cold tournament.
Yep.
Yeah. You can use it
Keeps
for
you
all
out there
sorts of stuff.
longer, right?
Yeah, it's nice to get into the dugout and go stand by that for a few minutes.
Yeah.
But
especially if you're playing right field or something and you just standing there freezing.
Yeah, just standing there for like not doing anything.
And then from the portable is the big buddy.
Yeah.
And like the third.
Did we buy any hunting buddies?
This past year, I can't remember.
The
but in the
camo
past,
version?
It's just
a camo version.
The camo version of the big buddy.
Yeah.
We have had them.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if it's.
I mean, we've offered them, but
usually you
it's
don't see the buddy heaters.
It's a little bit in between on the heat wise. It's like 6,000 to 12,000 BTUs. You only screw 1 bottle into it, but you on the hunting version on the opposite side, it has a storage place for a second bottle.
For this, that's the main.
So that's a pretty cool part of it. That as you're walking out to your blind or whatever, and you don't want it to go off because you're out of gas and forget about it. You always have a spare bottle in the side. And the other thing they do on the hunting buddy is it's an electronic ignition. So you don't want to be sitting. Yep, you don't want to be. a duck blind, you don't care. You're sitting there pop, pop, pop,
Yeah,
pop,
yeah.
trying to get the pilot light to cut on, right?
Okay.
But in the hunting buddy, it has an electronic ignition, so all you have to do is hit a button, lights up with a spark, and it eliminates all the extra noise.
Yeah, oh, I got you.
So that's the
deer
biggest thing.
blind over here. Pop.
Yep. Not a very good, not a very good situation.
And the big buddy and the hunting buddy have the dual tiles,
So they have,
the-
I believe the
or a bigger tile
yeah, the bigger tile on the hunting buddy, and then
Okay.
2 individual tiles on the big.
on the big buddy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And the
which
big
is-
buddy has 3 settings, so you can, regulate your heat a lot more with the big one.
Okay.
That's one of our popular ones too.
Yes.
I don't know if it's the most, but it's definitely, up
Definitely. Oh yeah.
there. Yeah.
And now on a big buddy, it has 2 regulators. You screw in 2 bottles, so you're pulling from 2 bottles at the same
On
time.
which one?
On the big buddy.
On the big buddy.
Mhm.
So you screw in 2 at the same time.
Correct.
So there would be no need for that dual tank.
Right.
Or could you use the dual tank and run 4?
Actually, yes, I believe you can. You can take that dual. You could hook the dual. Yeah, if you want to do it on both sides. I mean,
Maybe
yeah,
you're doing a
you could.
weekend hunt. You're never coming out of your redneck.
I mean, shoot, a big enough redneck, you could put a cot in there if you wanted to.
Well, nowadays,
Yeah.
they even got even bigger with like the 6x8 or whatever.
I got 6
so
by 8s now.
It's
Jeez.
like a bedroom.
And
I've
all-
known
and
some
all-
customers that stay out overnight.
In all honesty, most of my buddies that have the, now I'm saying buddies, buddy heater and buddies, but most of my buddies now they have a 20-pound tank that they fill up once a year and take to their blind and just leave it in there and run a hose to your buddies, and they just do it that way. That way they don't have to fool with the 1-pound bottles all the time.
Yeah, and you guys sell that hose.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
a
for sure.
good. Yeah, what's this? Is there a stipulation on when you're running it to a big tank? If you get over a certain length of hose, you have to run a regulator, or it has to be under a certain length.
Well, we keep it to 12 feet, so everywhere from 5 feet to 12 feet, you can use our regular hoses.
Okay.
We do highly recommend with our hoses or anyone else's hoses that you use a fuel filter. So we sell a small metal fuel filter that you screw into your regulator first, and then screw your hose to that fuel filter to keep from contaminants coming from the hose part of it when you're running it through larger tanks. And that's
so
just
fuel filter on the unit
mm-hmm.
and the
regular,
hose,
yep.
and run the hose to the
20
bottle.
pound
to
tank.
your 20-pound
Mhm.
tank.
Or, we have a lot of people that, duck blinds, I mean, they drop 100-pound tanks. I mean, I've seen so many different situations of, what
Oh,
people
yeah.
are doing on the duck blinds.
But you don't need a regulator then, at
No,
least up to the 12.
no, not when you're going, right, not when you're going to the, to a big buddy out of those tanks, you're fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Huh. And you can run big tanks off a portable buddy too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Portables and bigs.
Portables, but obviously the little buddy.
The little
you wouldn't
buddies,
because the
Unfortunately or unfortunately, there's a lot of hacks out there, but
Right.
you really want to stay in that
Yes.
portable buddy,
Yeah.
big buddy, or flex buddy
or you could
Mhm.
also do a tank topper on top of
of a 20-pound tank.
off a
Yep.
20-pound.
Yep, that's what.
Yep.
That's pretty. And we have
had
another
some
one,
of those too.
the real popular one. And actually, I need to talk to Stevie about it. We have one we call a 540. So
Mhm.
it hooks to the tank, but it's a really 360-degree burner.
Okay.
So the BTU output of it's a lot higher. It
Mhm.
disperses the heat out in all directions instead of just one direction. So if you're sitting in a duck blind and you're wanting to heat up the whole blind, it's more it does it more efficiently than just a
Put it between a couple guys instead
There you
of
go. Yep.
Chandler getting all the warmth.
Yep.
I'm over here
It's-
freezing.
It's very popular.
Yeah.
That piece is like really, really getting popular,
Okay. Yep. Yep. And it's a tank top
Mhm.
heater.
and you can regulate it I think it's 3 different settings on that one. On that one
Was
also.
the Big Buddy, that series has a fan? Or
So that's interesting. You asked that too. So there's different versions. We have one with a fan and one without a fan.
mhm.
But we're actually coming out next year with a version that has a fan and electronic ignition. And that electronic ignition won't be a button anymore. It will be on the actual knob. So when you go to light it and push the knob down, it'll electronically light right there. So it's not a separate compartment where you light it.
Okay.
So when you push the knob, click, click, click
Yeah.
over the years, now it'll be the electronic version.
So that'll be fall
23.
23?
Mm-hmm.
So coming out.
Coming out this fall.
Gotcha.
Yep. We're actually shipping some to our warehouses here in the next couple of months.
That'd be cool to look at.
Mm-hmm.
And then
What's it called? Is it like a Big Buddy Deluxe or something? Or?
Big Buddy Pro.
Pro.
You were
Buddy
close.
Pro.
Yeah.
Big Buddy Pro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
I haven't
to
seen the box yet,
wait
but I
on
heard it's
that,
Big Buddy
so-
Pro.
Yeah.
So that one's brand new.
Gotcha. And obviously the accessories, there's multiple accessories you can, the hoses, the fuel filters.
Yeah.
They even have the carry totes,
Mm-hmm.
if you're wanting to store it in a bag and bottles and
We have
And
bags
if-
for all of it,
yeah.
all the way up to even our Flex version of Buddies, which is another high end side of our Buddy collection or Buddy series. We have what's called a Flex, and basically that Flex series is the burner part of it is a mesh. It's more efficient. It's quieter. It's more wind resistant, and it also disperses heat out in 180 degrees rather than just having the radiant heat of a Buddy. That Flex, basically for a two-person team, it's very popular in ice fishing. Very popular in ice fishing because normally you don't have one guy sitting there. You have a couple people sitting there, and they put a Flex heater up, and the Flex heater, disperses the heat out more in a 180. And that series has a cooker.
Yeah. We were looking at that.
Yeah.
Did we
So when
order any of those?
when he was talking about the grade on top of the
the
other one, I'm like,
Flex
hold on.
series. That's
The Flex series got like the attachable grill or grate
Yep.
up top, right?
That is
Yeah.
correct. So it actually hooks to the bottom of the heater. So when
Okay.
you're carrying, you're only carrying one unit, right? And then you disconnect them, and you hook a hose up between the heater and the cooker,
Mm.
and
Now-
you can run the cooker off the same gas that you're using for the heater.
if you bought the Buddy Flex series, it automatically comes with the cooker.
No, the hooker.
It's two separate units,
Correct.
but they attach together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That is correct.
yeah.
So that's very popular in the ice fishing market.
That's
Yep, there you
Josh's.
go.
That's Josh's birthday or Christmas present. We have to get him a
Yep.
Buddy Flex.
There you go, Buddy Flex.
You'd be out there, which is that is an awesome when we were looking at like in a duck blind. For sure, duck hunters,
Mhm.
they're the breakfast cookers.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
We just
Yeah.
need a toaster attachment.
Yeah, you'd be out there for your
Yeah.
Pop-Tarts.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that whole Flex system is set up for us to continually add
Ooh.
products there. So
Accessories.
Right.
I need
accessories like
royalties.
it's funny where you guys are. Yeah, it's funny what
There's
you
a
guys
toaster
are
one.
mentioning, like boot dryers, glove dryers.
Yeah.
We're coming out
Okay.
with the ice fishing market pushes us pretty hard to, a lot of their feedback is, one unit because they don't want stuff rolling around in their skid. They really want everything in one compact unit. They grab it. They always know it's, ready to go. We're coming out some more accessories. We got a thing called a power handle, and it basically, you could have a cooker hooked to the bottom. You could put a power handle on top, and that power handle has a fan. So just imagine if you're ice fishing, you want to blow the fan, you want to blow the heat. It's kind of angled down. You want to blow the heat on top of the hole to keep it from having to skim so much.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also going to have a way that we can put an adapter on there for your fish finder, rod holder.
And a T-track system,
There you go.
with
So,
some rod holders and
it's
units and stuff.
So it's going to have a little track system on it. So it's just one more thing that we can add to that Flex series
That
of
ice fishing stuff sounds.
ice.
Sounds like
fishes, yeah.
Mr. Heater's never done.
Yeah.
We-
They're
we're going-
always
And-
them engineers or whatever and scientists back there.
And it's
just
cool, right? We're big on the ice fishing team,
cranking
and
out.
those guys are bringing us those ideas, and we're trying to figure out ways that we can implement it into make it more comfortable.
Yeah,
Right.
we've been
That's our
talking
job.
about ice fishing. Recently, a buddy of mine works at Garmin. Just went up and did a bunch of that up north. And Hayden, we were recording this. He hasn't seen like the really, really nice ice shanties, which are like
Oh,
we were showing
apartment rooms.
the
What
what we ice fishing luxury shacks or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the
I
ones
mean-
with the bunk beds. And
Yeah,
They
got-
sleep
kitchen
there.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bunk beds,
Couches. The one had leather couches, big
Mm-hmm.
TV.
75-inch TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Then they cover up the holes, at night. or
Dude, I'm in.
whenever.
When are we going?
I don't know.
That's living right there.
We
That's
actually
ice
sell if you've ever noticed in a home where they call a vent-free heater. So, if you've ever walked into someone's house and they got this heater mounted on the wall,
Yeah.
You know what I'm referring to. It's got a little grate on the front. It looks like a buddy heater that's stuck into the wall is what it really looks like.
Okay.
I mean, we make ice fishing vent-free heaters for the shanties.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We actually have people that order them. That's all they order because they put them into their custom-made
They're
shanties.
putting them into there.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I bet ice fishing is a big.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, we, every now and again, a couple guys will go mess around, like at, the Fountain Bluff, because it's smaller and it freezes up. But
Oh yeah.
ice fishing for Missouri is not huge.
And we always gotta
huge.
cross our fingers and just hope for enough ice in a couple weeks span.
just enough
get
to
thick
walk
enough.
out there a
Yeah.
little bit, but not a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize it.
But
It's
up north.
called the ice house heater.
Ice house heater.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it.
Vent-free ice house heater for all you
There you go.
ice fishing gurus.
Yep.
You can get one of those.
I actually want to go spearing. Have you seen the spearing?
Spearing
yeah.
ice fishing.
So they cut
with
a
a spear.
They cut like a larger
geez.
rectangle size hole, and kind of shape of this table, right? Well, not this big, obviously, introversion. And you put your little artificial bait like you're swimming around in there.
the
And
lure,
these
yeah.
muskies just kind of ease their way up there to them, and you spear them. I want that.
It's not like a fish spear we sell, but it's like more like a pitchfork kind of looking spear. I think.
Pitchfork with barbs on it.
Yeah, and then it's
Almost like frog gigging.
it's
but
it's
in a bigger
yeah.
scale. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it has a string, so you hit him, and he goes running off, and you got a rope, and you just kind of bring him back.
Oh my god.
And there's not that. I think
That's
they're pretty
hardcore.
heavy too, aren't they?
I haven't done. I
feel
want
like
I
to
would
do it.
imagine
I feel like you.
they got to have some weight to them.
Yeah, I think if once you send it, it's got some weight to them. I think.
Yeah, one of my reps talked about doing a show up there, and I'm like, if I go do one of those shows up there, somebody's gonna take me to. I want to spear a muskie. I think that would be pretty
That's
cool.
cool. I want to run like 20 tip ups. I don't know what the limit is on tip ups.
Just
There's
20?
a regulation. Yeah. But like I've seen some guys up
You
there.
just see Chandler running around.
Oh,
on
you
the
just
ice.
you run, slide, like you just
I've
have a
seen those
blast.
videos.
And
Yeah.
you see a flag jump up or whatever, and then you go run over there, and then you trip, slide, and then you try to pick up the fish, and then all of a sudden the one next to it goes off, and the one next to it goes
Yeah,
off.
that'd be
You
crazy.
need ice skates to do
Yeah,
that.
and you got like 3 or 4 guys out there running around trying to get tip ups. It just sounds like a blast.
Right. Yeah.
Sounds
I've
cool.
never done it, but I'd like to do it. But I want to do it in
Oh yeah,
one of them luxury houses.
Yeah, I'm with
And
Pat.
maybe
on
I'm
that
just a wussy.
I'm with you.
I don't want to go up
I
there
bet
in one of
there's-
them tents.
wonder what the
I
guide
think,
pricing is on one of those luxury shanties, and
I think
I've heard
ice
some
fishing, though, I
prices.
think of like Grumpy Old Men.
yeah,
That movie. Such a classic when they're
Yeah.
ice fishing.
Wouldn't a nice shanty make a grumpy old fisherman, a nice happy fisherman?
Oh my gosh.
That'd be the way I looked at it.
Yeah.
I can just imagine like the snacks you could put in like the fridge in these ice shanties, and
Uh-huh.
you got you could even
You're
have
good.
NFL football on Sundays.
Make sure you pull it off the ice soon enough, like the video we
Oh,
were
yeah.
watching that went
and,
viral.
and they drop down, so you pull it out there like an enclosed trailer you would carry your
Mhm.
duck decoys in, and it drops down
Mm-hmm.
flat to the ice.
and just sits flat to the ice.
And like you said, you got your little things in your floor. You remove
Yeah, they're
your
little like pothole manhole covers.
Mhm.
You just
Yes.
pop them open and
Drill a hole and
so,
go.
Yeah. So needless to say, Mr. Heater's got you covered whether you're golfing.
Oh yeah, we
They
have
got
golf
the
heater.
one for the golf cart.
I don't know if
Fits in the
we've
cup
ordered
holder.
one of those, but would that work in like a UTV?
100%.
Yeah.
Mm.
Looks
So
like,
actually, we're changing. We're. I guess it's not official, but we're referring to it more of a cup holder heater, and
Yeah.
so you can use it for whatever. We hear stories of used them. Tractors, UTVs.
oh yeah.
I've even seen a picture of one in a truck, but that didn't have a heater. But it's kind of funny. I saw
If
it.
you broke
I think it's
down
on
though,
YouTube.
like in Buffalo this past winter when the people were stuck out on the roads because of the blizzard they got,
Mhm.
and you can't go anywhere, and if your car don't start, pop out your little
This guy had it
cup
there. He
holder
was,
heater.
You remember the Chevy Silverados? They had the cup
Yeah,
right under
that
your radio
swings
popped out. he had it stuck right in there, pointing right at him. I'm like, I don't think that's
probably not the best.
That's probably not
we
the
don't,
best thing to
not
use it for.
recommended.
That's not recommended.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, we don't advise that.
There's a lot of stuff on YouTube that
Yes.
we definitely do not
Obviously,
advise.
people
Refer to the instructions.
Yeah, please.
they come up with their own system, but yes. But yeah, from the golf carts to ground blinds to rednecks to ice fishing
Duck
to
boats and
duck
everything.
boats and indoors and outdoors. I mean,
Yeah.
Mr. Heater's they've been a staple for us every winter we get. At some point, it's gonna freeze and get cold.
Mhm.
So
And the pallets of them fly away.
and being
Yep.
in Kansas City with the Chiefs and being in the playoffs and it's usually cold. And,
Tailgating.
the
yeah.
tailgating that we get, there's people, they spend the night out on the
Huge.
road and
Yep.
camp until it's time to open up. So
In this time of year, people don't. Everybody thinks, you sold all your heaters before Christmas and stuff, and that's just not the case because you have so much of the soccer moms, the baseball parents. That tailgating side of it. Spring camping is very cold.
Mhm.
And
even
so
spring turkey.
spring turkey, like I said, first one I ever shot in Nebraska was
Nebraska's
yeah.
early youth season in Missouri. I've known plenty of youth seasons you're hunting snow.
I've turkey hunted in snow, or
Yeah.
if it's not, it's still upper 30s.
Yep.
I mean, it's not
It can be
70. Yeah, it can be cold. So, but yeah, you can stop by the store or online, when we get our shipments in, and you can definitely check it out. One thing I wanted to mention before we get off here, if you go to Mr. Heater's website and check out Coats for Kids, which is a program that they do to make sure we keep everybody warm, right? It's the
Correct.
business we're in, so check out that and help out with that. So,
It is a cool program.
yep. But yeah, we appreciate you coming in, and obviously just happened to be snowing the day you were here, so
Yeah.
it kind of was like
a big snow.
a perfect storm. But let's hope you get home safe and check the road closures before you
I know.
head out of here.
I know. But no, I appreciate you guys bringing me in and all the partnership from over the years. And, I think we just continue to grow the partnership.
For sure,
And all your guys' customers, when they're rigging up their deer blinds or rigging up their, they just built a brand new elaborate duck blind or elaborate ice house, feel free to, call directly into Mr. Heater too. We have they have taken thousands and thousands of questions and scenarios over the years, and they'll make sure they get it, that you do ordering exactly what you need for the situation you're trying to.
And don't be afraid to send the comments to you guys.
No.
Obviously, you're paying attention to them.
100%.
With the customer in mind. So
100%.
Are we allowed to talk about anything new, or are we waiting for?
anything you want to tease before we jump off here?
We really have a couple of really cool items that are coming out that we can't quite
Okay.
All right,
can't
so
quite
just-
quite
But
say
we
it yet.
need to keep an eye out. There's
Keep
some
an eye
stuff
out
in the
because
works.
this fall we could there's one item coming out that could really be exciting for all of us.
Ooh.
Yep.
Things are heating up.
Things are heating up here. Pretty good one.
I love it.
Well, that's good.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Barry, and
Thank you, guys.
And we'll keep in touch and let people know what the next big thing is
Next
coming
big
out.
thing
So
is, yeah.
I appreciate it, buddy.
No, thank you guys.
Be safe.
Bet.
I think it's time for me